What's up, everybody? NBA DFS pre-show live. Win Daily Sports at Win Daily Sports. Tony Cotillo, DFS Ghost. As always, check us out on Win Daily every single day. Ghost is gems. It's only going to be me and Ghost tonight. We got 5 games on the slate, kind of like a small slate. But that's okay. We like this. A lot of good value in this. A lot of good props for profit. Like we're going to get to last night, the FFVP. Obviously, we don't do it on the weekends, but was Rajon Rondo. So if you catch our Twitter page every single day, we're going to post the FFVP, not only of me, Nick, and Adam, but also of what the overall number one value was on the slate the night before. But Nick, what are you thinking? 5-game slate, man. Are you ready to rock and roll tonight?
I am, and it gets started right away for me. So I'll know exactly how I'm doing before the I don't even want to say the last 3 games. There's only 5 games total, but I'll know exactly how I'm doing when those 7 p.m. games tip off. That's for sure.
So what's that game you're focusing on? Like, it's only 5. Well, what's that one game that you're like, I want to get a lot of juicy players in that matchup?
I shipped everything on Toronto, Charlotte.
How'd I know?
Everything. I wrote it up yesterday. You guys know we both have and I write the day before as a preview, and it was far and away the number 1 game in my model in terms of game environment, and it still is. So the chips have been absolutely shipped into the Toronto Charlotte game. That's for sure. Stack the 7 p.m. games. Get an early bedtime. It's Monday.
Yeah, it's funny because they're kind of spread out too. You got 2 at 7, 2 at 8, and 1 at 9. I'm kind of glad there's not a 10:30 West Coast game tonight because you know what I mean. It's Monday, and I'm gonna, as you see later on, we do props for profit. I'm gonna have some sweat in that game, so I want that to end early for me. So
yeah,
I'm definitely digging it. You're on the first end of the slate. I'm on the ass end, so that's okay. Every now and then you got to pick an end. So that Toronto Charlotte game, we're gonna get to our cores obviously in a minute. It's only me and you tonight. Adam was busy, so your core. I'm gonna guess right off the bat that you're going to have at least one Raptor in that core.
Yeah, it's going to be at least one. And in my main lineup, I'm going to have 2 Raptors. That's for sure. I'm going to have two of each side on that game.
So let's go right into it. Now, here's Ghost's core right here. And I got to tell you, Ghost, the Siakam play, he's on my dead to me list, man. He's the DTM list to me. Every time I start Siakam, I'm telling you, the snowflakes, man. There's nothing I can do about it. So talk about just give me the Siakam lowdown for tonight.
But I really hope it's not the night for that. Everything I have is riding on Pascal Siakam tonight, and it's the same narrative that we've been going with the entire season, guys. It's bigs versus the Charlotte Hornets, and he will absolutely destroy Mason Plumlee on the inside. Quietly having a very similar, if not even better season than his first All-Star nom of his career back in 2019-2020. Very similar numbers, and he's been on an absolute roll. And this matchup is just way too juicy to pass up. You guys know Nick Nurse runs the starters into the ground. Toronto's been firing on all cylinders, now sitting at the 6th seed. It would not surprise me to see the Raptors hosting a first-round playoff series this year with the way that they're playing right now.
Wow, that's a pretty strong statement, man. That's very interesting. So listen, you're a Toronto guy, obviously, so you're plugged in out there. But what makes you think that they're just ready to take that step again this year?
It's just like they have everything clicking for them. And it sounds odd to say, because if you say that about nearly any team in this league, maybe outside of the Detroit Pistons, it's just if everyone is clicking at the right time, it's very tough to see Toronto losing at least the first round series matchup in a best of 7. And like, it's just the way Gary Trent has been shooting the ball. Pascal's dominating on the inside. Fred is scoring. He's dishing the rock. We hit his points plus assists prop by it was maybe 30 seconds after halftime. Usually like to hit those by halftime, but we'll take it 30 seconds into the third to be able to hit that prop just on Friday night. And right now, man, it's this wing combo of Scotty Barnes and OG Anunoby is arguably the best wing combo in terms of 3-and-D on-ball perimeter defense, it's just absolutely lethal to see what they can do to opposition. So when you see them lining up on a team like the Brooklyn Nets, for example, that's just the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to the East and these perimeter players. Yeah, okay, it's tough to be able to guard Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden all in one night. But man, if anybody can do it right now, outside of the Miami Heat in the East, it's gonna be Toronto. Man, you get OG on Kevin Durant, or you get Scotty on Kevin Durant, who has already publicly said how good of a defender Scotty Barnes is already, only 50-something games into his NBA career. OG is quietly one of the best wing defenders in the league. Been saying that. And you have Fred that can play solid D too. Is he an elite on-ball defender? No, far from it, but he could hold his own, man. And Pascal just needs to figure out what he's doing around the glass and be able to not run around like a chicken with his head cut off. And when he does that, they're very tough to beat. And especially on the inside, you got to shoot the ball to beat the Toronto Raptors. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a great analysis, but I have to ask you about Kelly Oubre here. And here's the reason why. I have this long-standing bet. You'll hear me talk about my kids a lot. I love my kids. So, my 17-year-old loves Kelly Oubre. And he always says to me, Dad, why do you hate Kelly Oubre so much? And honestly, I just don't like his hair. Like, out of all things, he annoys me with his hair. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like I can't watch him play. So because I can't watch him play, I can't root for him and I can't bet on him. But Ghost, you have a lot more different detail than I do, a lot based on hair. So Kelly Oubre, man, why is Oubre in the court tonight?
So this is the one that it makes my stomach turn because I don't like rostering Kelly Oubre, but you like that's just what it comes down to. For me, I always try to put, my feelings toward a player and whether I like their game or not, whether anything that comes to mind, like as much as I hate rostering Andrew Wiggins, if both Steph and Clay are out, sometimes you got to eat it. It's just what it is. And there's certain guys that I absolutely despise rostering. And now both of them are on the Charlotte Hornets, Kelly Oubre Jr. and Gordon Hayward. And I think the larger of the field is going to flock towards Gordon Hayward at 5K. Kelly Oubre, I just talked about how you have to shoot the ball to beat the Raptors' zone defense. You're not going to beat them on the inside. Mason Plumlee is not going to beat the Toronto Raptors. It's not happening. And then you need to be able to, and even Miles Bridges is going to, I don't want to say he's going to have a tough time tonight, but he's lining up on OG and he's like, look at that, the plum dog.
Right?
Look at that legend. Look at that. What a legend.
Like he looks like he should be working at CVS Home Depot. Like, that's who you're worried about.
He won me a ton of money last year, though. He did win me a ton of money last year. But this season, it's a different story. I haven't played a single slate with Plum Dog in my lineup. But, man, Miles Bridges is going to be in tough tonight. I don't want to say that he's going to have a really bad game, but he's going to be in tough. I just talked about that OG Scotty pairing, and you got to shoot the ball. Kelly Oubre has a ridiculous usage rate off the bench. And he's just been chucking up threes like it's going out of style. Over his last 10, he's averaging 10 3-point attempts per game. Whether they fall or not, that's a different story. But a man that's coming off the bench, shooting 10 times off the bench is impressive in its own right. He's shooting 15 times off the bench, and 10 of those 15, 66% of his shots are coming from behind the arc. That could be a slate-breaking performance. So for me, I'd rather go from Gordon Hayward up to $300 to Oubre, because if I'm taking a risk on one of these guys, it takes a lot for me to roster Gordon Hayward, and at 30% rostership, that's not going to cut it. So it's going to be Oubre for me tonight. They're going to have to shoot the ball lights out, and it looks like many people are watching the show because I did not think people were going to be rostering Kelly Oubre tonight, but here we are.
Right now,
it's just
17%, 7% ownership for Kelly Oubre.
For me, I really like Terry Rozier tonight too.
Oh, scary Terry. I think there's going to be a lot of threes in that game, like you said.
There's going to be so many threes.
They're going to pop up a lot of threes in that game.
Terry is favored to make 4+ threes in this game.
I like that.
He's favored to make 4+ threes. So, both him and Oubre are going to have to be chucking. And finally, we get a game where Cody Martin is not active.
Oh.
So it's like the
Another
real
sniff.
Charlotte Hornets will be on the court tonight. No disrespect to Cody Martin, but it's just the it's like I didn't put in the article this way because like I didn't want people to read it wrong, but like hopefully people kind of sense the humor when they're listening to us / watching us. The obsession that the Charlotte Hornets have with playing Cody Martin 40 minutes a game is just mind blasting to me. Not mind blowing, it's mind blasting. It's like I can't stand it. So like for me, now that Cody Martin is not active, this becomes a really short rotation for Charlotte. And the one thing, see, Hayward's cheaper than Oubre on both sides tonight. Everybody's playing Gordon Hayward. And when you look at that game versus Miami, Gordon Hayward shot he was so bad in that game, and they turned to Oubre off the bench immediately. So I could see them doing the same thing tonight, where they're going with a combination of LaMelo, Oubre, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, and then whoever else they want at the 5 that is not Mason Plumlee. If they play Mason Plumlee, great. Pascal Siakam's going to drop 65 DK. But if they don't turn to Mason Plumlee, they're playing PJ Washington. Great. Pascal Siakam's dropping 65 DK because he's a foot taller than him. So, like, either way, for me, it's like Gordon Hayward has a very low floor in my simulations right now. Very low. And he does grade out really well, and he averages out very well. And the ceiling is very high. Don't get me wrong. But to be the second highest rostered player on an entire NBA slate, and it's Gordon Hayward, for me, it's going to be a no. But he does grade out really well for me. So if you land there, I'm okay with it. But I'm going with Kelly Oubre.
So I have to ask you about Bam. And the reason why I did ask you about Bam, because he's pretty high, 9,000, right? But I also know that you have no Daniel Gafford tonight. Montrezl Harrell, who's probably going to start, is very undersized to play a center position. Is that factoring into that Bam move?
It does. And Thomas Bryant is likely going to get the start. Montrezl Harrell is going to come off the bench but play more minutes. And both of them do not know what they're doing on the defense side of the ball. Thomas Bryant has been a shell of himself. I'm a big Thomas Bryant guy, and he has a great game.
ACL, man.
That ACL injury destroyed his mobility right now. Yep. And I don't know if he came back too early. I don't know if the rehab wasn't as effective as they needed it to be. I don't know what's going on. He looks like a soccer goalpost out there. Like he can't move laterally. So you get Bam Adebayo going up against that. Good luck. And then Montrezl Harrell, since he came into the league, does not know what defense is. He does not know what to do on the defensive side of the ball. So either way, Bam is going to absolutely feast tonight. If you want the analytics for it, Washington is 26th in points allowed in the paint. It just reinforces for me that take the analytics aside from it and just look who Bam Adebayo is playing. He's got double-doubles in 5 out of his last 6. The only 6th one that he missed was being a blowout. For me, it's just that one-on-one matchup versus Thomas Bryant and Montrezl Harrell is just way too good to pass up. I know Tyler Hero off the bench. They're going to run, like, as much as people say, okay, Tyler Hero's out, that leads to Max Strus and Cody Martin. It does, don't get me wrong. But Bam Adebayo actually sees a great increase in usage rate with Hero off the court. So it's important to note that it doesn't, just because someone's out, don't just look at the replacements. Look at how it affects everybody else on the court. I love Bam Adebayo tonight.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. And again, that's the thing we try to say, as always. I mean, obviously, get to Win Daily Sports, get on the optimizer, sign up. Trust me, it's going to give you everything you need. Everything we're talking about right here, is what we believe in. And it's all the analytics, put in the percentages, put in the values, and put in the number figures. This is what you got to look at. And are they always going to be 100% correct? No. But you're going to see what the analysis goes into it. So it's not like somebody just picking names off of paper. We're absolutely diving deep into these analytics for you to help you build these lineups. And again, there's going to be guys, we're all going to have a difference of opinion. That's great. Now, what do you see? My core is going to be completely different from Ghost. right? And only because I think of different ways. My analytics don't go as deep as Ghost. I think of different things, different scenarios, right? So again, that's what makes this fun. So always check in with your cores as well, because we're going to put them up on the screen as well. So for me, I like Steph Curry as almost a top player on the slate. And with Spider being one or two, I think this could be Donovan Mitchell as the top scorer from the guard position tonight on the NBA slate. I really do. I look at the matchup and not getting extremely deep, but against the Knicks. Listen, I am not worried about the defensive battle against the Knicks. He only played 22 minutes against Brooklyn and he scored 43. Okay, so this is absolutely a 30-plus minute night again for Donovan Mitchell. And when he plays over 30 minutes, he's going to give you an average of 38 to 42 a game. So this could be a 50-point night, in my opinion, for Donovan Mitchell. So I thought about, I like Devin Booker tonight because of the defensive struggles with the Chicago Bulls. They're giving up a ton of points lately. And I thought, you know what, this could be a deep book kind of night. But I'm like, you know what? I'm looking at Spider. I'm looking at the numbers. And again, it's all about how you want to fit them in their lineup. So, you look at Devin Booker, 8,900. I save 500 and I go Donovan Mitchell. And I think Donovan Mitchell will score more points tonight. Steph Curry going against OKC. You could say what you want. Listen, Steph Curry's going to light it up tonight. Okay, it's exactly what he's going to do. It's who he is. It's how it's going to be played. This is a 4+3 kind of night, maybe even 5 for Steph Curry. 100% agree. And then I like our boy Cam Johnson, Ghost, because again, he's very reasonable, 4,600. And I just brought up the Chicago Bulls, who have been having a hard time stopping people, okay, whether it be at the perimeter or in the paint. So I really think that Cam Johnson can really play out tonight on that Phoenix team. And I'm going to go Vooch, because on the other side, Vooch, again, even though the defense has been bad for the Bulls, they have been forced to score a lot of points, and they've been actually hanging with the teams even when they lose, which means Vooch is going to get a lot of play. I'm not afraid of DeAndre Ayton down low. So I think this is a really good core. This is my core for tonight. This is who the 4 guys I'm going to be starting. It's 2 $10,000 guys, but when you drop that 500 for Donovan from Book and you get a Cam at 4,600, I think it could build a really, really good lineup, especially when we get some really good FFVPs, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. The FFVP is the name of the game. Dennis checking in says, would you recommend not to take Trey Mann because he's facing Curry? Curry's not an elite defender by any means, right? So you could think of this the other way, right, Ghost? Or that that team's going to, whether they're down and they're trying to catch up, and they're just going to be shooting up threes and shooting up trades and getting garbage minutes. I mean, I'm not saying I recommend that Trey Mann's got to be in a lineup, but if he fits, I wouldn't go away from him because he's facing Steph. What about you, Ghost?
Trey Mann's actually lining up on Clay tonight. So Giddy,
there you go.
Giddy goes on Steph. So look, it's not somebody where I'm like changing my lineup to get Trey Mann in there, but at the same time, it's I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced, even for that salary. Like OKC is going to be in tough, and that's the only thing that worries me a little bit. He's got to make his shots, and truth be told, like with Darius Bazley not starting, and they have Ty Jerome, which is a high usage player, sharing the court with Trey Mann too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like Giddy's always gonna distribute the ball, but he's been increasing his attempts a lot with SJ off the court. Like it doesn't really have much to do with the matchup against Clay. It's just more the fact that there's so many variables that could go wrong there that on a 5-game slate, I don't really feel the need to take that kind of risk.
So Adam second says Miles Bridges or Julius Randle. I think that's a no-brainer. I think that's Julius Randle all day.
I refuse to play any wing player against Toronto. So Julius Randle.
There you go. Simply put right there. Now, Ghost, we've been hitting these FFVPs a lot. I mean, we've really been doing good. There
A
was a few
lot.
nights we were 3 for 3. So again, and if you really don't know, Fantasy Firebox Value Play, the FFVP, I started this a year and a half ago when I came over to Win Daily, and we came from Major League Baseball. And again, it's just a guy or multiple guys, and it doesn't have to be a specific value. In baseball, it was like that $2,000 to $2,500 range. It was under 3,000, where you get 7 to 12 points. And in Major League Baseball, that's a pretty good payday for that kind of minimum value, right? So, or minimum price tag. So, for basketball, it's a little different because it could be a $5,500 guy, it could be a $4,000 guy, it could be a bare minimum guy, right? But all it is about basically price point. It's what you get for your money. And we've been pretty good with this, Ghost. We really have. And I got a couple tonight. And again, I don't want to butcher the guy's name. Okay. We were talking about this earlier, right? Because, when you have it, again, he's not my FFVP. So I forgot he's not. He's my props for profit. But for me tonight, I'm going to give you my logic of thinking here. Okay. Aaron Holiday. Now, the reason why I like Aaron Holiday tonight has nothing to do with analytics. It has to do with the trade deadline coming up. And it has to do with that if they play Aaron Holiday a specific amount of minutes, they get to showcase him off as a veteran that maybe can get him a couple draft picks in a trade for a contender. So I really like that part at a low value. And if you go and look at Aaron Holiday's numbers, okay, for that kind of money, they're really not bad, right? You have to look, and again, you're going to get Raul Neto. He's going to play some minutes. But again, Aaron Holiday is getting 19 to 25 minutes over the last 3 games. He's going to give you 11 to 15 points. Now, again, I think tonight he could push for that 25, possibly even 30 minutes tonight, quite possibly, depending on the way the game script goes. But again, they want to showcase this guy off again with Bradley Beal out. So that is my line of thinking there. And Emmanuel Quickly for the Nets. There is no Kemba tonight. And if you go by Quickly, okay, when he plays 20 plus minutes, he scores 20 plus DK points. So again, in a matchup with no Rudy Gobert, in a matchup that could have the Knicks scoring a decent amount of points for $3,600, Emmanuel Quickly, I think could give you a 25 to 30 point night, which is really good when you're building those big lines with those $10,000 players. Ghost, your thoughts, and also, who's your FFVP tonight? Oh, you're on mute.
That was iconic. Oh my god. I do like both of those guys. I do like both of those guys. And there's a lot of value to be had with the Washington Wizards tonight. And I wrote that up. And
Ghost's gems.
I as much as everybody's gonna flock to Kyle Kuzma, and I saw so many lineups in Discord today with Kyle Kuzma, and
everybody's loving Kuzma tonight.
You guys hopefully you're all tuned into the show. I'm not playing Kyle Kuzma tonight. If you don't know why, you should have read the article because it says it why. But he's lining up one-on-one on Jimmy Butler. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's who's going to be in tough. And you know what? If he gets the best of Jimmy Butler, I'm still going to sleep like a baby tonight. I'm not paying $7,400 for Kyle Kuzma. If you land there, I can't blame you because some people love analytics. I love analytics. Like, it's just the usage rate increases as points per minute increases. I get it. It's Jimmy Butler, man. Like, I'm not playing somebody that is a high isolation rate player against Jimmy Butler. So I'm turning to the Washington value. And there's a lot of guys that just off the top of my head, there's Aaron Holiday, like you mentioned, Tony. There's KCP. There's Denny Avdija. There's all kinds of guys that are sitting below 4K. That's where I'll get my Washington exposure to counter my Bam Adebayo play, right? So that's I guess I could say a group.
FFVP. We'll put Wizards under 4,000.
Wizards FFVP. I like that because I do like your Aaron Holiday call. And then
again, you never know.
That's the thing. And then this one is to be determined. The model's FFVP is Duncan Robinson.
I've seen that.
I'll say that. The model's FFVP is Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson grades out well. And one guy that I'm keeping my eye on tonight is Azubuike for the Utah Jazz.
Oh, yes. I like it.
So Mitchell Robinson, I'm a big Mitchell Robinson guy. You know that. I love Mitchell Robinson. I know
Me
you love
too.
Mitchell Robinson because he made you a ton of money that night. He made
Yes, he
all of us a ton
did.
of money that night.
And he might
I
make
know
me some more tonight.
I know you like Mitchell Robinson tonight. Like, it's just both of us really like Mitchell Robinson, and I love his game. I don't know what's going on in New York. I don't know what's in the water bottles out there in New York, but like all of these guys are playing the worst basketball I've ever seen. Outside of, obviously, it had to be a Canadian, RJ Barrett, who's just balling out. But all of these guys just, I don't know what's going on there. So, and Azubuike, if he's able to be efficient, it's not that bad of a play. And this will be a game time call for me with the model sitting at a ridiculously low price. I also need Hassan Whiteside to be ruled out. That's the big thing for me, is that's why it's to be determined. Someone that I'm keeping an eye on is because if Hassan Whiteside is active, this play goes completely out the window. Do not play him if Hassan Whiteside is in. But it's something to keep an eye on, because with everybody likely getting most of their lineups before that game even tips off, it could be a late pivot that can win you a tournament.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good point.
Especially if you're like, think about it. Like I see a question right now from Ivan saying like, are 2 FFVPs from the Wizards too much? Right? Like if you're doing that, that means that there's probably other people that are doing that, right? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. This goes back to my Azubuike point, was that if all of your 3,500 to 4K FFVP plays are pretty much locked in before that game tips off, and Hassan Whiteside gets ruled out, nobody has the room to get to Azubuike. Like, nobody can play him because all of their punt plays, they're not going to come off a $7,000 price player to play Azubuike. Like, it doesn't make sense. So if all your value plays start at 7:00, that's where it's a bit of a dicey roll, especially since we're likely not going to get that lose till lock, but something to keep an eye on. I do like the Wizards as my FFVP kind of. I'll put it in a group. I like the Wizards, and I do like Aaron Holiday tonight as well.
We'll see, man. Low value. Jimmy says, what about Alec Burks? What I'll say, Jimmy, honestly, inconsistent minutes, right? And I know Kemba's out tonight, and I know there may be more minutes to go around, but I need a guy that's going to be consistent. When I look at 15, 18, 26, 13, 30, it's all over the map, right? So you're paying almost $5,000 for a guy who you don't know is going to give you consistent minutes in that game, right? What I always do, and again, this is Jigsaw's line of thinking. What I always do is I look at that number and I'm going to go, okay, who else is around 4,800, right? Of any team, doesn't matter. And who is more of a consistent value, right? Because if you're going to spend that for Alec Burks, like you already, we talked about a guy named Trey Mann, who knows, right? But you got Jonathan Kuminga, okay, going against OKC, who's getting consistent play, right? For 4,600, going up against the 30th fantasy ranked defense in the NBA. So there's a lot of things you have to take in consideration. I mean, you can drop all the way down, and we mentioned a guy like Ty Jerome, who, even though they're splitting minutes, he's getting consistent minutes, right? So it all depends on what you feel, but I just think he's too inconsistent for my blood to be worried about him for 4,800. Now, Matthew says, Klay Thompson, I like it, Matt. Klay Thompson double tonight, the Splash Brothers, right? Danny checking in. Spider Terry, KCP, Pascal, Bam, Duncan, or Holiday, Uber, and help me out, Ghost. Diakite, which I love it. Diakite. Jimmy says already switched to Holiday already. I love it. And Jimmy says play Whiteside and just switch if he's out. And listen, there's so many
Whiteside should go tonight. It's just, again, he's also one of those players that the injury management has been, it's been needed, and he's really banged up. And if Rudy Gobert has been out this long, Utah also has to start thinking playoffs here, and they need a healthy Hassan Whiteside. So it's just something worth monitoring. I do think Hassan Whiteside plays in this game. I don't see why he shouldn't, but it's just something to monitor.
We call it the Ghost Watch. We're gonna get something like an image. We're gonna get our man make us something that says Ghost Watch. like at the ghost watch for the night. I'm all about marketing, man. God damn it. So you got to do that, man. Make it fun. Javon checking in. He's got Diakite. I love it for my FFVP. No germs, Earl Robinson off the bench. Listen, I love it, Javon. I love it. And I'll tell you why. We're going to roll right into the props for profit segment here. And I love me. The only reason why I didn't make him my FFVP. Also, check this article out, as always, WinDailySports.com, free betting picks and props. It's just updated every single day. All sports, a lot of Super Bowl props on there as well. Me and Jason were on Sirius last night talking about props. C and Jason were on Saturday talking about props. We have a lot of NBA props are in there. So check it out. It's a free article and free all week, especially for the Super Bowl. But we're going to go right for props for profit. And remember, hashtag props for profit. Getting a lot of love on Twitter. I love it. In Discord, obviously on YouTube right now, throw them up. We'll put our hands up and see what we got. But the only reason, Javon, I don't have him because he's in my props for profit, because I was looking at it and I was looking at the numbers and I'm like, man, look at this. Look at this double for plus 800, right? You said it right there. There's nobody coming off the bench, right? And here's my logic of thinking with I'm going to get I'm just calling him my mom. Diakite. There you go. Those big names kill me. Diakite, right? So look at Diakite's numbers. And this is what I'm looking at. I was telling Ghost this off air, that if you look at the numbers, the only guy he's got to play for is Derek Favors for time. Okay, but he's going to get 30 minutes tonight. He's going to get 30 minutes. And his last two games, he went 9-8, 12-7. So, again, the game before that only scored 2 points but had 10 rebounds in 18 minutes. He's going to get boards against Kevin Looney. That's for damn sure. And if this game gets out of hand, he's going to get some garbage points as well. So I'm only asking for a couple points swing on rebounds and points to get plus 800 on a double-double. Now, I got this on Mitchell Robinson about 2 weeks ago with this same kind of logic. I can't guarantee you that it's going to come out, but I'm pretty certain it's going to be super close. You're going to sweat this one out, but I get this. Plus 800 is a good way to sweat, especially if you come out on the other side of the rim. And I'm going to go right back to Mitchell Robinson. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go double-double tonight. Double-double was plus 245. But Mitchell hasn't been consistent when we talk about scoring points. But if you look at his rebounds, he's very consistent. In only one game in the last four, he hasn't been in double digits. He reads 10, 6, 13, 11, 11. So tonight, again, he's getting consistent minutes. No Rudy Gobert. We already talked about it. You're going to talk about a Whiteside and maybe injured. Mitchell Robinson has every opportunity to get double-digit boards tonight. And this is a plus money bet as well for plus 115. So, Ghost, Jimmy already talked about Clay. You got Clay over 19.5 points and assists for minus 105.
He just grades out so well for me tonight. They're going to start increasing his minutes on top of that too. It's just way too low of a number. Way too low of a number for both scoring and assists on Clay.
And look, he's going with the minus 105. There's your boy Pascal. Oh, I think that's a lock. Even though he's on the DTM list for me, I think it's a lock.
Jay's tailing this one, so hopefully he doesn't. I don't know. I don't even know. Even this word, I hear people saying mush and moosh. So I don't know how people pronounce it, but I don't know. Jay's tailing this one. It's got me nervous, but it's a lock, so we're good. Whenever he texts me for a bet, he's like, I just need one. Later. He's like, I just need one. I'll go 9 for 10 that night, and the one that he tails doesn't hit. Every time. Yeah,
it'll be like, what the hell, man?
That's why I usually don't give him many bets, but this one's a lock for me.
So I got two more. Actually, then I have four. I usually don't have four, but I
like Siakam 25 plus also if you want to raise it.
What's that? What is it?
I'm gonna check Siakam 25 plus.
Oh.
If people want to raise it, I'm okay with that.
Or what's that number?
Wouldn't go over 25, but 25 plus for Siakam is plus 150.
25 plus 150.
Yeah.
Now you got plus money. And you know what? I like that. I do. And again, you sold me on it with a lot of stuff that you were talking about with the analytics of it. So I do like that at plus 150. I do. I really, really do. There's some comments coming in. We got just runs it. He says Siakam is the
Yeah,
Derrick Henry
Siakam
of the
just puts his.
NBA.
If you ever watch, like, again, I don't know how popular Raptors games are there, south of the border, but if you ever watch a Raptors game, Siakam just puts his head down, and just absolute freight train to the rim every time, and Mason Plumlee won't be able to handle it. Nobody can on that Charlotte team. So
Listen,
Pascal Siakam night, Spicy P.
I used to love him, man. He's
Spicy P.
He's Joel's Cameroon brother. You know what I mean? Like I used to love him, man, but he just hurt me too much. So I hope, but I'm praying for you tonight, Ghost. I'm not gonna no bad thoughts about Pascal tonight, 100%. I'm gonna go back to the well with Cam Johnson. Over 2.5 3-pointers made for plus 145. Again, we talked about the Bulls giving up a ton of points. And if you look at Cam Johnson over the last 3 games, listen, he's shooting 17 attempts, right? If you take that and you combine that with the next 2, you're talking 31 attempts. And he's shooting about 45% in those 51 or 41 attempts. So again, he's only not hit this number twice in the last 5. So tonight, with all that scoring going on and with that Chicago defense pretty lax, I really like this play. And I'm going to go with a popular guy. And we talked about this. You know, I'm going to go DDR with a double-double tonight. DeRozan, if you look at, and again, I'm going strictly from his numbers, but if you look at what he's done over the past, he's scoring a ton of points, right? He's scoring a ton of points. So I kind of think tonight he doesn't get the points up in that 35 to 40 range, but he gets the boards, right? So, you know, he had 9 rebounds last game against Philly. He had 10 against Orlando 2 games ago. He's always going to be in 20-plus point territory. But tonight, in that game against Phoenix, I could definitely see him getting 10 to 12 boards tonight to give you that double-double because the points are given. You just got to hope for the rebounds. You're going to sweat this one out, but I really think that this is another good, plus 425. I mean, how can you complain about that, Ghost? How can you complain about that? You can't. That hits your goal. Your goal.
That's a big number. That's a big number.
Right? I mean,
that's a big number.
Hey, you know, you got to go big, go big or go home.
Yeah. Well, the thing with these bets too, like for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, the thing with these bets also is that if you hit one, you already come out profitable at the end of the night, right?
Exactly.
So you don't need to be firing at a ridiculous clip here, hitting, I don't know what the number everyone keeps talking about. I think it's like 58% or whatever it is. Like,
yeah.
To be in the positive, right? Like it's a much lower number, and it's all about taking these alternate lines and finding a prop that you really like and just increasing it a little bit. For example, if you were betting DeRozan rebounds tonight, there's no value there.
No,
you need
0.
to, right? So like I'm actually curious what his rebound prop is at right now. I'm gonna go check. We'll use this
look
as
at
an
that
example.
because a lot of that I was looking like I'm on DraftKings right now, and let's see who gets it first here. I'm in here now. So
DeRozan's 5.5 rebounds tonight. With the juice on the over. So Vegas thinks he hits 6 or more.
minus 150. Minus 150.
Heavy juice on the over. Heavy juice on the over.
So think about that. Right? So there's no money there. There's 0.
You're laying 1.5 units to win 1. You can't do that. That's not profitable long term.
No.
So like that was 5.5 on DK. It's on minus 150.
Minus 150 for over 5.5.
Right. So that means that Vegas thinks he's a lock to get over 6, and they think he likely goes up to 7. So now at this point, you're pretty much hoping for 3 rebounds for plus 425 because you know he's going to score in double figures.
Yeah, because
that's the kind of risk that you're taking. It's 3 rebounds for plus 425.
Exactly, and you can't beat
number. That's a big number. No,
it's a big number. But listen, we're under 40, so we're gonna roll. We're gonna get the our lineups again. Make sure you get us a Twitter at Win Daily Sports. Get us, props for profit, hashtag props for profit. I'll throw a post up there probably around 6:30. It'll be up there. Tag it, thread it, throw it out there. so we can all be happy when all of us win, as always. But keep it locked here. Thanks for all the comments. Everybody checking in. As always, NBA Pre-Lock Show at Win Daily Sports. Give us a follow. Give us a subscription. Smash the like button. Everybody be safe and stay healthy. We'll catch you right here back tomorrow night.